this is Will, SRT Amplification. Today's going to be kind of a hodgepodge of things that I'm working on, and something that I want to showcase. I know I don't showcase too many of the items that I have, guitars and amplifiers and stuff, but today I'm going to showcase the Fender Katana that I have, and I'll tell you a little bit about that later in the video. But first of all, I wanted to look at something that I've been working on as part of the Tortoise and amplifier restoration and modification that I'm making, turning it into a guitar amplifier. And you know, it had that really Art Deco look to it. So I thought it would be fitting to try to make a speaker cab that matched that look. And initially I was looking at suitcases from like the 30s and 40s and stuff to convert into a speaker cab. But while I was on eBay, I ran into something else that I think that would make a nice repurpose for a speaker cab. So let's take a look at it. I got this in the mail today, or a couple of days ago actually, and it had this piece of glass on the inside of this hole right here, and I took it out. It was just glued in there. And what this was a Barber's or medical sterilizer cabinet. It came with these really thick panes of glass that you could put in. Open this up here. You could put in as shelves right here in this unit, so it would sit like that. Came with two of them, and so it's pretty neat. I won't be using the panes of glass, so maybe I'll find another purpose for all that glass. It's got the Art Deco look to it, as you can see. It kind of reminds me of some old Valveco amplifiers that had this kind of stripes running down the center here. The original knob that came with it was this Bakelite outside piece with this brass center, and I really didn't like the look of that. I found this one on eBay, this chrome one, or stainless steel one actually. It's kind of got that Art Deco look with the layered rectangles. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, see? And I think it matches the hardware over here on the side a little bit better, that Art Deco look. Of course, I'm going to polish these up, get some chrome or stainless steel screws for this, so it looks a little bit better. And then I found some old radio grill cloth from probably the 30s, and you can see what that looks like there. So that's going to kind of sit back behind the hole there, and then the speaker behind that. So one of the problems that I'm running into is what size speaker do I put in this cabinet. The cabinet is large enough for a 10-inch speaker. However, the hole is, according to my tape measure here, the hole is approximately 7 and about 5/8 of an inch. And an 8-inch speaker's center to center mounting holes is about 7 3/4, so that would just barely catch the edges of this hole. So I don't know if an 8-inch speaker is going to be the right way to go. I'll stick an 8-inch speaker on there and maybe see how it looks. A 10-inch speaker would mount at about 9 3/4, which would put it right about there, and the actual cone of a 10-inch speaker is about 9 inches. So that puts about half an inch, or a little more than half an inch, covered up by the hole out here. So I think that may be fine. I may go with the 10-inch speaker. So then the question is, do I put the mounting holes in the corners, or do I put them straight up and down on this stripe, and then hope that it lines up over here so I can use this handle as one of the mounting screws. I may have to go, if it lines up here, I may do that, put them on the, you know, squared up. But if it doesn't, I may have to do the little X thing. Or another option is I may build a mount inside to hang the speaker on and leave this door totally unmolested. So that's an option too. But this thing came to me with a little bit of damage that the buyer, or that the seller said that wasn't damaged when he sent it. So he actually refunded some of my money. You can see this got cracked right here on the end. A little crack running through it. So I think some wood glue will fix that right up and kind of sand it down. Maybe I may refinish the whole thing. And then the back is going to need some work. The back has got some problems. And this right here, the way this piece of plywood is, you don't want something like this as a backing for a speaker cab, because this is just going to vibrate and make all kinds of noise. So I'm going to have to shore this up. Actually, I'll probably just take this whole thing off and put a whole new piece of plywood on it, which is a shame because, you know, it looks good from this side. But of course, the way I'm gonna make this thing where it's kind of pretty much sealed up from the front side anyway, you'll never see that anyway. So probably just make another back for it, one that's easily taken off, but doesn't make a lot of noise. You know, it's stable and everything on the back, secured tightly. So that's that. That's going to be the speaker cab for that Thordison amp. And let's go take a look at the Fender Katana. Okay, so this is my guitar, well, mine and my son's guitar slash chill room. And as you can see, we got some, we've dubbed it Alex's guitar room or Alex's guitar lounge. But anyway, we got a whole bunch of guitars and stuff, basses, everything. He's a line 6 guy, so he normally plays through this 120 watt line 6. This is bass amp. Marshall fridge, of course. A few guitars. This is Silvertone 1984. We'll do a video on that later at some point. Black Star. Alright, but anyway, I wanted to get a little bit of video about this Fender Katana. These Fender Katanas were only made in 1985 and 1986 for just a little over a year time span, actually, 1985 and 86. And get a little picture of the headstock. I don't know how well that's going to show up. Got the Fender Katana with the actual sword katana on there. Really unique headstock there. Locking nut. It's got the offset triangle inlays. Rosewood fretboard bound, which is highly unusual for Fenders. 2 humbuckers, another highly unusual for Fenders. The body is mahogany. It's got a System 1 tremolo on there, which were only made for like 3 years in 85, 86, 87 time frame. It's got the volume with the little Fender logo on it on the knob. TBX tone control. It's got the little detent right there in halfway position, as the TBX tone controls have. Three-way selector switch, and the jack input's actually right here on the end, which is great. One of the things I like about this guitar is on the edges here it has this little kind of yellow stripe, kind of reflective stripe. It also has the same thing on the beveled edge here of the headstock. There's a beveled edge here, and then there's an actual cutaway right here. Another odd thing about this guitar, at least for Fender anyway, is it's a neck through, or not a neck through, but a set neck. So the neck is actually glued in there, and the whole body and neck and headstock and everything is the same color. You can see right there it says made in Japan. Got the serial number. It's the original case. And you don't find many of these around on the internet. There's probably maybe 4 or 5 on the internet right now. The ones that you find on the internet a lot of are the Squire versions of this, which the Squire versions had a 6-point trim, so it didn't have this 2-point trim. It only had one humbucker in the bridge position, no pickup in the neck position. The neck was an actual bolt-on neck, and it was a shorter scale. It was like the 3/4 scale length, or the 22.5 or whatever it is. It only had a volume control, no tone control, and of course it didn't have any selector switch because it didn't need one. And then they also made a bass version of the Katana as well. Probably on another video I'll do a sound check on this. We'll play it and actually demo it. I would do it right now, but my pedal boards and stuff, my MXR ISO brick, which I have over here, kind of gave up the ghost, and I'm working on getting that fixed. I think lightning got to it, but we'll see. We'll give her a proper demonstration though, and let you hear it. It really rocks. I don't know why these guitars didn't take off in the market that they were in the 80s, because it actually really sits really well on the strap across your shoulder. When you hold it, it sits really well. It doesn't look like it. It actually sits better than a V does. You know, you got this, like a V like this, it's really awkward. But with having the long on this side, and then it cut off on that side, it really helps as far as the balance and everything. It offsets the neck really well, I think. But that's the Fender Katana. If you own one of these, or know somebody who does, or know anything about them that I haven't covered on this, just leave your comments down below, and we'll all learn from this. Some of you probably never seen one of these, so pretty rare guitar. Another guitar I thought I would showcase as well that I have is a 1965 Fender Musicmaster, and this is a short scale guitar like the Mustangs and the Dual Sonics were. My very first guitar that I ever owned, I got for Christmas one year. I think I was 10 years old. It was a 1963 Fender Musicmaster, and that was the year before, or 2 years before, I guess. 65. This was the first year that had the big headstock, and these are actually labeled Musicmaster 2s. They're on the headstock. I don't know if you can see that or not. Musicmaster 2. The differences were the big headstock. This is after CBS had already bought out Fender. Had the big headstock. 22 frets. They started putting on these. It has the pearloid inlays instead of the clay dots. But the biggest thing that was different is the pre-CBS Musicmasters had a solid plastic pick guard. It was all one piece. It wasn't this metal control plate here. It was all plastic pick guard. So that was the other thing. So if you find one with all plastic, it was either really early 65 or prior to that. So But yeah, it's a player. The short scale, really doesn't lend itself very well to bending strings, but for chording and everything, this guitar really rocks. If you want to, just knock out some rhythm stuff, or even some finger picking stuff, this thing will do it. Not a very versatile guitar with only the one pickup, and that pickup's not very hot, but it gets the job done. And it's a very lightweight guitar as well, so it's good. Oh, also another thing on these CBS Fenders, they started going with this this F logo on the neck plate, on the back plate. So that was one of the changes that they made as well. So alright, that's just another one in my collection. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please click like down below. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to this channel. And next to the subscribe button, there's also a little bell. If you click that, it will alert you and give you notifications to future videos. Until the next video, we'll see you then. It should be a Tech Talk Tuesday. Hopefully I get a Tech Talk Tuesday out tomorrow. But we'll see. If I do, it's going to be over soldering and a little bit of tips for soldering and things like that. So thank you very much.